everyone. This is Jing from Soynergy. I was a food scientist from NUS. Let me do a brief introduction of my background. I was born in China and in a family of most of the members are tech-related guys. For example, doctors, pharmacists, and engineers. And that's why I naturally be born in an environment of the tech education, and that may be the reason to motivate me towards this STEM career. And plus, I like to eat food, and I like to cook as well, and thus I choose food science as my major for bachelor degree, and then continually for PhD. So before I joined the university, I basically studied biology, chemistry, and then physics. And among these three, actually I'm more interested in chemistry and in the biology, and thus that's the two areas that food science mainly focus in. And if let me say that about my PhD career, I actually choose a topic about functional foods. What is functional food? It's the foods that can provide you beyond the basic nutrition, like some foods that can bring you additional health benefits. For example, what I study in is so-called low GI foods, that the food you consume, but you not absorb the sugars as much as you eat a normal staple food like the bread and whatever. So that's friendly for the diabetes patients to enjoy. And what we kind of do is we do the formulation, so we find the functional ingredients that can inhibit the sugar absorption, and then it may suitable for the diabetes patients to eat. So for most of the consumers, other than the diabetes patient, you can also enjoy it. Like for example, when you eat the muffin, you may feel that, oh, that is high in sugar, and then it's not healthy snack, but no worries about it. With our formulation, you can absorb less sugar, then you can feel less guilty when you eat it. So when we talk about low GI food, you can commonly find in the market now, like the low GI bread, low GI cereal bar, or even low GI chicken rice. So that means that you can eat the same amount of food, then without absorbing the same amount of sugar or energies or calories, and then you can feel less guilty or feel free to enjoy the food. So that's why we designed this low GI food. And when we design it, actually it's more on a formulation base, which means we choose certain ingredients, functional ingredients that can achieve this goal, like inhibit the sugar absorption. So it would be more on like formulation stage. And that's why after my PhD, I choose maybe I can learn something more. For example, like more deep tech or play with something else. Then I choose my career further in the fermentation area, which is involved about the bacteria and then the live organisms like the yeast and fungi. So for example, when we talk about fermentation, the first product we come up with is yogurt. Yogurt, which means like easily digestible nutrition. And after I switched the area from the low GI to the fermentation, in our group, we are considering, okay, what this fermentation technology can be used in. For example, like you can imagine this yogurt drink is good for your gut health, and then it contains digestible nutrition, right? And one of the typical fermented drink is probiotic drink. The probiotic drink, when it is consumed together with some fibers, we call it prebiotic, it can have a synergistic effect to further promote your gut health. And that is one of the scientific backgrounds we created our innovation in Soynergy. So when we talk about a probiotic drink, it's basically the good bacteria that can go into your GI tract and then to balance the microorganisms in your gut and the intestine, and then to further help you to boost up your immunity, and then overall improve your health status. And when we talk about the prebiotic, it's actually the food to support the growth of such good bacteria, we call it probiotic. So that's why we have this synergistic effect when we consume the probiotic and prebiotics together. Soynergy created our first products using the materials from the soy milk and tofu production is the soy pulp. We call it okara. So why okara is quite a big challenge to many of the manufacturers, because if you have the experience making your own soy milk at home, you may notice the okara is some residues after you extrude all the soluble parts. And that means that the okara itself is very coarse in terms of the texture. So it contains very large amount of the insoluble fibers. So which means that when you try to eat it, definitely it would like choke your throat, and then it's difficult to digest. And that's the reason many manufacturers or the soy milk producers, they cannot utilize this technology without further processing. So on the market, actually some of the like Japanese manufacturers try to convert it into some okara flour, which means they will dry it and then grind it into the powder format. However, because of it still contains a large amount of the indigestible fibers, they cannot incorporate, cannot add large amount of this okara flour into food applications, so that it is not easily used product. And that's why Soynergy created its own process. It's using, one is fermentation technology, and second is enzymatic treatment, trying to soften the texture of the okara and break it down, the micronutrients, the insoluble fibers into the soluble fibers, so that the end product that we created will have higher nutritional values in terms of the more easily absorbed or more available nutrients. And secondly is its taste is more palatable. To upcycle the okara, Soynergy created two types of products. One is soy-based probiotic drink. Another one is the bio-okara flours. So for the first one, what we think about is in Asian area, there are a large population who is the lactose intolerant people that cannot enjoy the milk products. Then in this case, we would like to provide them a healthier alternative, non-milk based probiotic drink that they can drink every day to improve their gut health. And plus, we are using the sustainable materials, we call it food byproducts, to create this drink. So it's using a sustainable methods to create the healthier choice of the food. That's one of the missions of Soynergy. And then at the same time, we also want to really contribute to reduce the food waste. And as I mentioned in the last session, is, for example, without our processing, the okara flour is very coarse, so it cannot add it in the food application at a large amount. But with our fermentation process, the texture becomes softer. It contains more soluble fibers, so it's easily soluble in the water, and then it can be added in the food for a higher dosage, for example, 40 to 50%. It would largely increase the amount of the okara to be used in the food, and thus it can further reduce the food waste. when we do the product development, we will do some market tests and then some consumer tests, sensory tests to validate this idea. And during this R&D stage, we found that actually the consumers are so interested to have our vegan type soy-based or probiotic drink. And thus, we are thinking, okay, we need to bring these great products to the market to let more consumers to enjoy. And that's why we set up a company, the Soynergy. This is Soynergy's 2 products. One is soy-based probiotic drinks that can give you about 10 billion live probiotics per bottles that can further improve your gut health and boost up your immunity. And the second product will be the fiber-rich chocolate cookies made from the probiotic fermented bio-okara flour. So you can consider it's a series of the gut health promoting probiotic snacks and probiotic drinks. And you can have our fiber-rich chocolate cookies on the online sales channels such as the Red Mart and NTUC Online. And for the drink, we are doing a soft launch and during the events to commercialize this product, the Okara probiotic drink. I just become an entrepreneur for about 3 years. And what we found, the very big difference to be a scientist and entrepreneur is the different skill sets you may need. For example, in the labs, I can focus on how to refine my products, like how I can ensure the functionality. For example, how many probiotics inside per bottle to give you the health benefits, and how to give you a better taste. So that's something as a scientist we can think about, is how to create a good quality product. And as an entrepreneur, maybe it's different angles of mindset. For example, we may spend more time to understand what consumers need. Let me take an example. You need to understand that what type of the drink they like to have. For example, for everyday consumption, right? Like Yakult, they make it into 100 ml small bottles so that the consumers feel easily to have everyday single bottles. So that's something that we need to understand more outside of science. It's more on the social science to understand the people, to understand their needs, and then to understand like, okay, how we gonna like commercialize it in a way that can profitable for a company to survive. Another challenge for a scientist to really build up their own team to set up a company, I think is about how to get along well with your teammates. Like how you can set up the mission that everybody's have the motivation to achieve it. For example, I like a very simple story about the housekeepers working in NASA. When people ask him or her what she's doing, the answer is, I'm assisting to send people to the moon. So I think that's something that can simply explain, like when you work as a team, you need to have the same goal. Even though you may have different skill sets, you contribute in different ways, but how you can unite it, this whole group of people from different backgrounds to work together to the same goal is very difficult, but it's also like very exciting. As you may notice, now the world is a kind of the tech-driven world. The greatest company like Apple and what Elon Musk has been doing, it's all about the STEM fields. So here, I will encourage all the students who are passionate about science and technology, don't hesitate to choose the STEM education. You will find a very interesting angle and logic angle to see the world, to understand how the world is running, and then you will have more possibilities in the future. So if you can equip yourself with other like soft skills from business or social science, you can have more opportunities to pursue your own career.